important sessions. Session one by Mr. Sujit Hukkerikar, and he spoke on smart agriculture. After that, we had one more session by another resource person, Mr. Gajendra Deshpande, who spoke on information technology and agriculture. With this, we start with our second day, day two of our 6 days online faculty development program sponsored by AICT. Today, amongst us, we have uh, Dr. Ramappa, who would be delivering his talk on agriculture, Agritech's contribution to SDG. We are pleased to introduce Dr. Ramappa KB, a distinguished academic with extensive experience in the field of agribusiness and rural management. Dr. Ramappa is currently a professor and head of the Institute for Social and Economic Change, ISEC, Bengaluru, where he has been contributing to research and education for several years. He also serves as the director of the School of Agribusiness and Rural Management at Dr. Rajendra Prasad Central Agriculture University, Bihar. With a PhD in agribusiness management from the Industry of Agricultural Sciences, Dharwad, Dr. Ramappa specializes in agriculture marketing, agribusiness, and agricultural economics. His academic career spans over a decade, having held teaching and research positions at various prestigious institutions, including ISEC, Acharya Bangalore B School, and Sri Sri Agricultural Agri Business Academy. In addition to his academic contributions, Dr. Ramappa has substantial experience in agribusiness sector, particularly in market research and business planning. His experience in the intersection of agriculture, economics, and business makes him a valuable resource for discussions and initiatives focused on rural development and agribusiness management. With this vast experience, I'm sure this session is going to be wonderful and a great learning experience for all the participants here. I once again formally welcome Dr. Ramappa for this session. So, welcome, sir.
Good evening.
Okay,
Thank you for my short introduction.
thank you.
I thank first of all Ajay, actually who contacted me for the first time, uh, and the Karnataka Law Society's Institute of Management Education and Research for inviting me as one of the resource person in this FDP. Thank you, Ajay.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
shall I share my PPT?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
1 minute. I have to. Okay. Yeah. Uh, I'm unable to share, I feel.
So on down there are some icons which, if you just hover it around, it says like present now. There's an upward arrow as an
Okay.
icon.
I think, is it coming now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay. Okay.
it's visible.
Uh, I will be switching on to the PPT only. Okay. Resume. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible. Sir.
Okay. Yeah. My topic is on uh, agriculture technology contribution to the SDGs. Okay. Earlier, I think it was a reverse, SDGs contribution to the Aggretech. I thought, to my convenience, I made it as Aggretech contribution to the GDPs. We all know about sustainable development goals. I think in the first two sessions they might have dealt about these. Okay. Still, before beginning my topic, I think we must talk about SDGs. Uh, SDGs are a set of 17 interlinked global goals set up by the uh, UN member states, United Nations of member states. These 17 goals, acts as a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Okay, so we have adopted these UN member states. Almost all the UN member states have adopted these SDGs uh, in 2015 only. Okay, so as part of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Okay, so there are 17 SDGs. Okay, so you might be knowing all the things. The number one is the no poverty. So that is ending the poverty in all the forms everywhere. Then the second one is the zero hunger. That is end hunger or achieve food security and improve nutrition by promoting the sustainable agriculture. The third one is the good health and well-being. So ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all ages is the main agenda of this. Then the quality education. So wherein there will be the inclusive and equitable quality education. So we are talking about that and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. Okay. So then gender equality. So then clean water and sanitation is another agenda. Yeah. Then affordable and clean energy. So there is another agenda. So like that, the decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, then sustainable cities and communities. Okay, then responsible consumption and production. So this is again more or less related to the agriculture, where we are trying to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns in the uh, world. So then climate action, uh, that is the 13th goal. Then life below water, that is aquaculture. Most of the things belong to the conserving and the sustainable use of these oceans, seas, marine resources, and their development. Then the life on land, 15th is that. Then
Uh,
hello.
so really sorry to interrupt. So, are there any you are there on the first slide? If the slides are moving, I think
No, no,
it's
no. I'm not
okay.
moving it. Just
Okay, okay, okay,
giving
okay,
an introduction
okay,
about it.
okay. Yeah.
I'm
Sorry.
talking about SDGs. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Then peace, justice, and strong institutions. Then the last one is the partnership for the goals. Okay. So when you look into all the seven SDGs, which are more or less, they reflect to the somehow indirectly connect to the agriculture. But I will be dealing very specific to a few SDGs which are directly linked with the agriculture. Okay, so my flow of presentation will be this. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, yes, yes.
Uh, so I will be talking about the SDGs and Aggretech, then Aggretech innovations contributing to the SDGs, then impact of these Aggretechs on various SDGs, and some of the challenges and solutions in implementing these agri technologies, then future prospects and strategies for achieving the SDGs. Then I will be concluding with uh, a few things. Okay. So when we talk about to the introduction of the SDGs, as I already said, like out of the uh, all these 17 SDGs set up by the Union Nations, this is for the global, okay, and addressing the global challenges, especially the issues like poverty, inequality, and the most happening thing in the world is that environmental degradation. Okay, for that, we have put some targets which have to be achieved by 2030. That is what the UN nation has done, and we are all agree to that once we sign to the UN membership. So As I already said, again, like the agricultural technologies, whenever, whichever the goal if you talk about, they are more or less related to the agriculture only. Okay, so these are all relevant to the global development. Okay, so in the within the framework of these UN member states, they have made these guides to, guidelines to for developing, making the development policies. Okay, so they mainly encourage sustainable economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. That is the main aim of the SDGs. So even during at the time, they also support the international collaboration and partnerships. Okay, that is what that is how they are related to the global development. So as I said, I in although everything is related to agriculture, but I will be dealing specific to some of the goals like zero hunger, okay, and the responsible consumption and production processes. Then the life on land. So these are directly related to the agriculture. Okay, I will be talking about a little bit more about those things. Okay, so as I already said, you know, this I mean, no, there are various agri technologies, okay, which are related to agriculture. So they involves like precision farming, biotechnology, even the data analytics. Though that is used in the business, so that is also applied in agriculture. They all aims to increase the productivity, efficiency, and sustainability in farming. Okay, so anything, any technology that relates to agriculture, it will help to improve the agriculture, are called consider can be considered as agricultural technologies. So technology will be the same, but only the application part will be different. That's what I mean to say. Okay, so some of the key technologies which are really helped in agriculture are, I mean, to name them, like drones for crop monitoring. I think I have been conducting a project presently, that concurrent evaluation of Namo Drone Didi scheme. Namo Drone Didi scheme, under which like the government has distributed 500 drones across the country for self-help self-help woman self-help groups. Okay, so there we are using these drones for spraying of agricultural nutrients, like maybe nutrient pesticides, any liquid form they are using. So that is one of the important technology I can say you. Then GPS, IoT devices, you know then blockchain technology, that's what we are have been talking recently. Then advanced irrigation systems, like all the micro irrigation things like drip irrigation, then sprinkler irrigation, something like that. So these are all the key important technologies. Then all these try to enhance the crop yields and food security, and mainly their focus is on reducing the environmental impact through efficient use of these things. Okay, these technologies. Okay, uh, for example, like all these SDGs, when you are talking, they have a holistic approach. Okay, means they cover wide range of issues, like wide range of issues. One thing, then even they cover the global partnership. Then they talk about inclusivity and equity, environmental sustainability, economic growth and innovation. Okay, monitoring and accountability, all the things they talk about. Okay, when it comes to some of the technologies like precision farming, so within the I mean, one of the important technology in agriculture is precision farming. So that precision farming, there are various types within the precision farming. Maybe some are like technology integrations, like GPS sensors, drones, or some data analytics. They are considered as technology integration thing. Then variable rate technology is also another kind of a technology. So wherein that enables precise application of inputs like fertilizers, pesticides, and water based on specific needs of the areas or the field. Within the field, specific field, specific plants. So that can be identified and given input. Okay, so thereby we can reduce the waste and increases the efficiency. uh, if you say remote sensing and drones, they are all equipped with multispectral or RGB cameras. Through that they can capture the detailed images of the field. Okay, so these images helps in assessing the crop health, detecting diseases, and monitoring the growth. Okay, so especially in the some of the areas like here, in Karnataka, in Bijapur, for especially grape farmers, they all adopted such technology. So they can able to give a specific nutrient water to a specific plant. Okay, so that is all possible with this precision farming. Even they can maintain soil and crop monitoring. Okay, soil means mean that can through the soil we can identify what is the moisture content it require. Then what is the temperature, then what is the nutrient available in the soil. Okay, so with this we can optimize our irrigation and fertigation, both the schedules we can optimize. Okay, and while doing so, that also try to collect the data. So these data collected from the various sources will provide actionable insights, so we can make informed decision. So ultimately what they will help in improving the yield and reducing the cost and minimizing the environmental impact. Okay, thereby like what are the economic environmental benefits we'll be getting. So this will be trying to reduce the overuse of chemicals and water becoming a very precious input. you know Day by day, we are all struggling. So thanks God, this year more, heavy rain is happened. Otherwise, what is always uh, debatable issue. Okay, so that is how it will try to help us in overuse of chemicals, then reducing the overuse of chemicals and uh, water use efficiency. Okay, so once we have it, one is environmental benefits. Similarly, we have a economic benefits also. Once we reduce the chemicals or any input usage, definitely it will help in improving the income. Okay, so crop yield we can expect. Precision, so that is how this precision farming is helping. So similarly, there is a technology we can biotechnology. Okay, so biotechnology, what we can, well, how it is helping us. So first of all, it is a discipline, that involves use of living organisms like cells and biological system. Through that, we have come up with the genetical engineering. So there, we will try to modify the genes to get the desired result. So like you might have heard GM crops, genetically modified crops. Okay, so why we do that? To so that the crops can resist pests. Okay, or dot, something like that. Or you sometimes they will try to help in achieving higher nutritional value. They try to give higher nutritional value. Okay, so there are a lot of applications of biotechnology, maybe in medical field, industrial field, environmental field. So similar in agriculture, as I said, it will try to help us in various environmental stresses like drought and salinity. Okay, so that is another technology. So similarly, we have, I was telling like data analytics. This is the process of examining raw data to uncover the patterns and draw conclusions. Okay, so that is how various technologies are helping in optimizing our input usage in agriculture. So what we have to do is that now, so to achieve how they are contributing the SDGs, if you say, so we need to align agriculture technology innovations with the SDGs. So, like, I was talking about zero hunger, using biotechnology to promote efficient use of natural resources. Now, supporting SDG to 12. So they are interconnected. That is what I am telling. SDG 2, that is zero hunger. When you start using some technology, indirectly that will also contribute to SDG 12. So that is encouraging biodiversity and ecosystem, and in turn it will help in achieving to meet the SDG 15. So that is how all are interconnected. So we need to align these innovations with the SDGs. So by aligning like this, what are the things we can get, like, so that we can improve the agriculture sustainability and resilience, and enhances the economic opportunities for farmers and rural communities, contributes to the global food security and poverty reduction. So some of the examples of these such integrations are like smallholder farmers using mobile apps to get the market prices. So that once he get the information about the markets, so he can decide where to sell, which is the better market to sell. Okay, instead of selling in the Bangalore market, he may go to some other market. Okay, so that is all possible with the help of this mobile app. It's a small, simple IoT. Okay, like in the case of urban areas, we it's difficult to find the space. So there we can think of having a vertical farming, isn't it? Within the house, at different layers, we can grow agriculture commodities. Okay, so then, so that like the different SDGs are interlinked. Okay, then use of renewable energy sources for farming operations, like your solar. Solar is not only used for our home lights, but we can also extract water from the solar solar energy. Okay, but even it will be helping in cutting the carbon emissions. And okay, so that is how these are the some of the different examples that are which are integrated can be seen in the agriculture technology. Okay, so some of the key agriculture innovations contributing the SDGs are like use of drones and sensors, like real time. With the use of drones, you can say that real time monitoring can be done, like maybe a crop health, or the time of application of fertilizer, pesticides, you know. So, and we can make a field mapping and surveying also. That's also possible with the help of drones. So similarly, if you consider GIS and satellite imagery, these will help in collection of geospatial data, so that we can have a better planning, tracking of crop performance over time. So we can early detect the expected pests and diseases for the crop. Okay. Then how they will be having a impact on crop yield and resource management. So through the targeted interventions, means at a time we cannot do. As I said, in a drone is given to only selected women self-help groups. Okay, so they started using, though there are glitches in the beginning. Okay, so there in that case, in this scheme, Namodi this scheme, only the 10th class passed women are selected. So they have trained in accessing this drone, but the problem is since they are not technically sound, they are unable to use it properly. So that those such kind of a glitches will be there in the beginning, but once if they addict to those things, we can definitely enhance the efficiency we can expect. So now only we are targeting the spraying. So that, see, main benefits of using drone is it will reduce the labor. See, to spray in an acre, they have to use at least 2 labors per day, 1 day. Means 700 rupees, it means 1,400 rupees. But yeah, if you give 400 rupees, 1 acre, 10 minutes they will spray and go out. Okay, see, that is the biggest saving in terms of labor and time. So entire day, 2 labors were working earlier. Now it is after all, 10 minutes they can able to complete. Third, very important, water. For spraying 1 acre of this pesticide and fertilizer, when they say fertilizer, it is a liquid fertilizer. See, they you used to spend minimum 200 liters of water for one spray. Like that, there will be spraying three or four sprays for the entire crop duration. See, 200 liters of water for one spray, that with the help of drone, that can be completed within 10 liters of water. Where is 200 liter and where is 10 liters? So that is where we can see the, we can expect, you can just calculate what is the, how these drones are helping. Okay. But even the environmental impacts also, you see when the laborers are spraying, they were not using, safeguarding their health. First of all, they are exposed to these pest and chemicals. They were spraying and they were going inside the crop, huh? And they were also exposed to this chemical. So now nothing, you can standing outside the boundary, just fly the drone, and so that is how it is helping even the environmental, reducing the environmental impact and the waste. Okay, see, 200 liters come to 10 liters. The chemicals also, so from the change of forms, like fertilizer. Earlier we used to use granular fertilizer. Now, 150 kg of granular fertilizer of urea, if you take to 1 acre, that will give 46% of nitrogen. Whereas in the liquid fertilizer, it is only a bottle, half liter bottle. 50 kg fertilizer become half liter of liquid nitrogen. So this is how we can see the improved interventions and the benefits of efficiency and resource utilizations. Okay. So there are some climate smart agriculture technologies also have come up, like drought resistant, like adoption strategy to climate change, like drought resistant crop varieties. Then forestry practices. Agroforestry means growing trees in the field. So what happens once we grow the trees in the field, that will try to help, to withstand the soil conservation practices. It will try to help in soil conservation practices. Then adoption of crop rotation, very simple technology like adoption of crop rotation and diversification. Crop rotation means now you are growing, one season you are growing cotton, next season you have to grow some other crops like pulses. Okay, so other season may be maize, something like that. If you change up crops over the period, I mean within a year, 2 3 crops, if you are growing, if you change one crop to other crops, that will add. So, sometimes the pulses will add nitrogen into try to fix nitrogen in the soil. So that will help to grow other crops in the next season. Okay, that is how these adopting these kind of climate change strategies, really help the environment. Okay, then the mitigation technologies, like nowadays you might have heard the word called carbon sequestration. Okay, so the carbon sequestration is nothing but making the carbon available within the soil. So if you disturb the soil, then only the carbon get exposed. The soil may not get the carbon. Okay, so how that can be done? Like cover cropping means always you cover the soil with some crops. Okay, so that can be done. So like sometimes precision farming, like minimizing greenhouse gas emissions, this is the best solution. Then use of renewable energy, as I said, like solar, that can be used. Like some of the case studies, if you want to study and the success stories, so there are government programs like National Innovation and Climate Resilient Agriculture, NICRA. So they have come up with, Indian government has introduced these kind of technologies, wherein the different technologies like water harvesting structures, improved crop varieties, and integrated farming systems. So such kind of technologies were integrated into the try to make the people to adopt such technologies. So they will be try to help conserving water, conserving soil, and conserving even the varieties also. Okay, so what is integrated farming system? That is popularly known as IFS, integrated farming systems. Means within a limited land we will be growing a multiple integration of crops and livestock. Okay, so means suppose you are growing a paddy, so at the same time you will be growing a, you will be having a dairy. Okay, and you will be having a fishery, then poultry. So like that, everything you are making within a limited land, so that one commodity become a input to other other commodity. So like you are, since you are going a paddy, the straw can be fed to the animals. So animal give milk. The milk can be consumed by the by us. Okay. Similarly, if you are doing a pond fishery, so and poultry, the poultry waste can be used as a feed to the fishery, something like that. Those kind of a thing. These are the technologies are available. Only thing is we have to start using them. So that there are a lot of studies also through the integrated farming system. In 1 acre, farmers are able to make 1.5 lakh income. Okay, 1,50,000 income from a limited 1 acre of land. Okay, then there are so how to implement was also challengeable, what challenging. So that is the reason they have identified under this scheme only, they have identified climate smart villages. Means one village was adopted as a climate smart village, wherein to make the this program successful, and initiate the action collectively. They have selected these kind of a villages, wherein the each and everyone are made to grow drought tolerant crop varieties. Okay, and to have efficient water management techniques like drip irrigation or sprinkler irrigation kind of a thing, and soil conservation practices like agroforestry, as I said, something like that, so that the village could be able to flourish. So though it was a drought in those areas, I mean dryland areas, they could able to get more benefits. Okay, at the same time they are all environmental friendly. Okay, so like the agroforestry and soil conservation I explained to you already. Then water management techniques like rainwater harvesting. Okay, so you, if we are not harvesting rain, it will become difficult in the future days. Okay, so micro irrigation, I will tell you. See, the paddy, 1 kg of paddy require four what is the 30,000 liters of water, as per one of the study. So if you have a these kind of a micro technology usage, that will come down to even 400 liters. Okay. Then the construction of check dams is another way of preserving water. So yeah, these are all the things done by the government of India. So the government is also giving some. They have come up with some of the schemes like Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Means this is related to Krishi Sinchai, is related to irrigation only. So wherein farmers will be given 90% subsidy to avail the micro irrigation facilities. Okay, there is a national mission for sustainable agriculture, wherein under these schemes, even the financial and technical support will be given to farmers. Okay, they will be conducting a demonstration within the village or in different plots across some gram panchayats, so that people can see and practice such kind of a technologies. Okay. Yeah. So in the case of sustainable water management, like I was already talking about only the drip irrigation systems. So wherein the efficiency of water use is too much. Okay. Even the smart irrigation controllers for automated scheduling. So like I was giving an example of grape growing in Bijapur. No? So the way the irrigation has planned, like whenever the plant wants, then only plant require water, then only it releases water. Similarly, whenever the plant requires nutrition, particular nutrition, that time only it will releases. So that automated scheduling can be done with the technology. Okay. So then use of rainwater harvesting for supplemental irrigation. See, most of the greenhouses you might have seen. See they might be having over a tank. That tank, one tank water they can easily grow one crop. So that tank can be filled within one big grain. I mean, big grain of 10 mm or so. Okay, so these are all the technological innovations were really helping in irrigation technology, like water conservation practices, like adoption of mulching to retain soil moisture. Mulching, you might have seen, mulching is nothing but they will be putting a black plastic sheet on the soil bed, so that it will try to retain the soil moisture. They are not, it is not directly exposed to sun. Okay, so that the crop, whatever the moisture content is required, that much only it will absorb. So it is, since it is not exposed, this it will try to retain the soil moisture for a longer period. Okay, so then implementation of water recycling and reuse systems, especially this is a big problem in cities, urban areas. Okay, so the especially like Bengaluru, the KLC project in Bengaluru, that wastewater of Bengaluru is taken to the dot area in like Kolar. Whatever the vegetables or whatever the agriculture practices they are making, they are doing with this recycling and reuse water. But there are a lot of challenges that need to be overcome. Okay, so that much, there are a lot of problems in implementing these kind of systems, but there is a technology. So when this is without any problem, it is happening in around the world. Why can't in India? That can happen. But as of now, there are issues, and a lot of studies also have undergone, and they reported a lot of problem in producing agriculture vegetables or fruits in this area. That is a different thing. We will be talking about the challenges later. Okay. Then, related to water conservation practices only, the application of soil moisture sensors to optimize irrigation. So soil moisture sensors, so they will try to identify. I mean, they will give a signal to the smart irrigation controllers, so that they will be releasing the uh, water or fertilizer, something like that. Then reduction of water footprint in agriculture. So shift to water efficient crops and varieties. I was giving an example of paddy. No, so nowadays the government of India has also stopped in most of the tail-end areas of canals. The particular crop is banned. See how much it is implemented is secondary. Suppose if you go to North Karnataka, this paddy crop is banned in this canal area, that too, especially in the tailed part, but still they are growing. Okay, so that is the reason, like that is a part of the implementation. Okay, so what we are talking about is that we need to shift to the water efficient crops and varieties also. Okay, so the other technology integrating hydroponics and aquaponic systems. So without soil, nowadays we can see the production of especially leafy vegetables in urban areas. Okay, so how this is possible? This is all technology only. This will try to capture the nutrients available in the system only, I mean environment only, open environment only. But with just a water, we can able to grow crops. So as there are a lot of glitches with the in implementation of these technologies, so we need to take a lot of policy measures so that encouraging certain so that we can encourage these sustainable water use practices. Okay. Then impact of Agritech on various SDGs, if you want to see, like one by one I've been talking about, like SDG 2, we are talking about the zero hunger. Here, how we can contribute to the zero hunger by producing food making enhancing the food security, so then reducing the post harvest losses and increasing the nutritional value of crops. These are the ways we can really contribute to zero hunger. But how we can do enhancing food security? That is possible through the development of drought resistant crops. As I said, like paddy, it is not only grown in standing water, that can be grown in the dry land. If you go some parts of the North Karnataka as well, there are cropping patterns. They grow, cotton in between cottons. In between cotton, paddy is grown, especially in Yadgiri district. Okay, so that is possible, but that's what we have to change the system. But there are existing technologies like drought resistant crops, so they will really help in producing food production even if it is a drought. Okay, so then we can enhance food security by implementing precision farming techniques. As I already said, there are a lot of technologies available. So if you start applying them, we will definitely we can maximize the yield. Okay. So as I was talking about the GPS also, like utilization of these satellite imageries and data analytics, so they can help us in planning our schedule very well. Okay. So that is how we can contribute to the food security. Then how we can reduce the post harvest losses? So the what is the post harvest losses in this country? This is 30%. One of the study conducted by WRI, World Resource Institute, they reported soybean 30% is wasting after the harvest. Post harvest loss is 30%. If you suppose you produce 100 kg, 30 kg is losing in after harvesting only. So with the use of smart storage solutions, we can control the temperature and humidity, so that we can reduce the losses. Then deployment of mobile apps for real-time market access to reduce the spoilage. So when to sell is also a question. Simply store it in the garden and cannot sleep. So why we store? First of all, we with the expectation that there will be higher prices for the produce in the later season. So how you will get to know? If you have access to mobile apps, we can access real-time market prices. Okay. Sometimes even the forecasting also can be available. Forecasts are also available, so that we can access these markets whenever the prices are. We can try to clear it so that we can reduce the spoilage. Okay. Then there are technologies which are biodegradable packaging. Okay, packaging material, so that this is both way it is contributing. It is biodegradable packaging. Second, it is helping the extending the shelf life of the produce also, especially fruits and vegetables. These type of uh, packaging materials are used. Okay. So then what is the other way? The other way is increasing the nutritional value of crops with the help of like biotechnology I was talking about. So biofortification means we are injecting we are trying to produce the vitamin required or essential vitamins and minerals within the crop itself. See, the main idea is that we should not eat medicine separately. Actually, within the food we should take medicine. Food itself should act as a medicine. Okay, so that we can avoid the all other disadvantages of these uh, medicines also. Okay, so that is one of the best technologies, biofortification. So you might have seen, like potassium rich crops or copper rich produce, something like that. Okay, so that is possible with the agriculture technologies, available agriculture technologies. Then genetic modifications. Okay, so genetic modifications in the GM crops I was talking about. One example to give is that BT cotton. You know what was the loss before introducing the BT? Okay, so farmers were difficult, facing a lot of difficulties with the before introducing introduction of the BT cotton. Okay. So after the introduction of the PT cotton, the income has, production, productivity and income has rise more than 50%. Okay. So that is a kind of a boosting protein content in this staple food. That is also there available, but it is restricted in this regulatory restrictions are there in this country. Okay, we are not allowed. They want the ICR wanted to come up with it in the same similar to BT. Cotton we are not eating, but eatable items there is restrictions. So that is the reason they are stopped. Introducing BT cotton in BT in uh, brinjal. Okay, brinjal also lot of it attracts more pests. Okay, so to control that, that would have been the better solution, but it's not allowed. Okay, so soil health management to ensure nutrient-rich growth conditions. See, though the soil health management, there is a technology called soil testing. You people might be aware of it. Though the government of India also invested so much on that, but still, the acceptable adoption rate is less than 20%. Okay, see, they farmers they never treated like, it is like our blood report. If they start treating like their own blood report, they can really see go for this soil technology and soil testing, so that they can understand what is the nutrient available and which crops he can grow in his crop in his field. Okay, so with this there, we can see that, which are all the which crop can be grown in my field, so that I can able to grow it better. Okay. So that is like this, these are all technologies will be contributing to the increasing in production of food, so that we can able to achieve zero hunger. Okay. Then clean water and sanitation. So this is the SDG 6. Okay. So how we can achieve this? Like improving water use efficiency. So how this water use efficiency can be achieved? By implementing the drip irrigation system, as I already said. Then so that what happens, it will be minimizing a lot of wastages. Then there are sensors, the IoT sensors I was telling, so that they will be monitoring, real-time monitoring, and they will be able to give a signal to the whenever the water or fertilizers required, that will be giving through this sensor technology. Then the other one is, I said, drought tolerant crop varieties. Okay, so these are all, try to reduce the water intake. I mean, they will be increasing the water use efficiency. Yeah. The other way is that purification and recycling technology. I was giving an example of Bangalore, like wastewater recycling and reuse in agriculture. So that can also be done for on-farm water recycling. Also can be done. Then biochar filters to purify the agriculture runoff can be done. Then promotion of closed loop aquaponic systems. Okay, so without the water, without the some soil, we can be able to grow some crops in the through the aquaponics. Okay, so they all try to reduce the water. They save the water, so that we can able to give it to everyone. And protecting water ecosystems, implementation of buffer zones, to prevent the nutrient runoff. Then adoption of controlled livestock grazing. Controlled livestock grazing is also one of the technology to protect the river banks. Then use of agroforestry, telling the growing trees in the fields, so that that will conserve the water and runoff. Even the soil also that will try to conserve. So thereby, water infiltration can be expected, and so thereby we can also reduce the erosions. Okay, so then if you take the SDG 13, that is climate action, low carbon agriculture practices like no till farming. Okay, so this is also called as zero budget natural farming, ZBNF. You might have seen this has been practiced in most of the places in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Actually, the agriculture itself is against to the nature. Okay, uh, but no other options. Without tilling we cannot able to grow crops at all. So that is the reason we are we have been giving input as to that. But following the no-till farming, that will reduce the fossil fuel use. How much you are incurring on in making the field ready for uh, crop growing. Okay, so that will reduce the usage of fossil fuel. Then implementation of crop rotation, a simple technology, like if you're growing different crops in the three different seasons, so that the soil also see what happens in monocropping is that the crop whatever it requires, if we keep on growing in the same land, what happens, that nutrient become a deficient, isn't it? Suppose if you are growing paddy, so continuously if you are growing that that field will be lack of that required nutrient. So instead of paddy, if you start growing some other crop like pulses, they will take whatever they wanted. In addition to that, they also fix nitrogen in the soil so that next paddy can be done. Okay. Then cover cropping. Well, cover cropping means you are growing some crops, which will try to stop exposing to the sun, so that the carbon content in the uh, soil uh, will be more, so that that will enhance the soil health. Okay. Then use of renewable energy that everybody knows, So with the help of let's say if you start using your farm machinery and irrigation, that is again a good way of utilizing the energy required instead of fossil fuel. So then climate resilient crops. This I have been telling like drought resistant. You said so. Similarly, we have a heat tolerant crop varieties. Okay. Then shorter crops. I mean, suppose even there are varieties. Especially in flooding areas. In the flood they will be growing. Okay. So then there are some crops, which are short duration in short duration. Suppose, due to the climate change, the rainy seasons, number of the rainy seasons, the days might have reduced. So that if you start using, I mean, otherwise, if the rain is delayed, instead of June, it is rain started in August, then what to do? So we can use a shorter varieties, means short growth varieties, means the number of days required to grow these crops will be less. Okay, so instead of 4 to 5 months, they can able to grow within 3 to 4 months. Okay, so such technologies are available. Okay, they are all climate resilient crops. Okay, so sometimes the integration of traditional knowledge with the modern breeding techniques also help. Okay. Then this carbon sequestration in soil. This is I was telling like preserving taking the carbon dioxide available in the uh, environment. That will try to fix carbon to the soil. That is very much necessary for the soil. Okay, so that application of biochar is one of the this thing. Then increase the soil organic carbon content, so that it will increase this organic carbon content. So that is very important. You might have heard OC in organic carbon content. If you see, most of the states, the the minimum requirement is 4. Okay, 4 is the content, OC content should be 4, but most of the cases it is less than 4. This can go up to 7 also. 7 means very fertile land. Okay. So if it is okay land means it should be at the range of 4 to 5. If it is less than 4 means it is not suitable. Without adding nutrients, you will not get anything from that plant. So that indicates that. So if you want to increase the organic carbon content in the soil, you have to go for available technologies like crop rotation, crop covering, all those things. Okay. Then promotion of agroecological practices that enhance the soil structure. So we need to promote these agroecological practices like crop rotation again. Okay. Then use of perennial crops to improve soil carbon storage. Perennial crops, nothing but I mean plantation crops or uh, 1 year crops. Okay, like banana, sugarcane, something like that. Okay, they also help in improving the carbon storage. Okay, so these are all the technologies available, to combat, to enhance the, they will help us in achieving these SDGs. Okay, then what are the challenges or solutions in implementing these agriculture technologies? We all know, that there are problems in terms of funding and investment needs. So, okay, what are the funding and investment problems you can expect? So, like high upfront cost for technology adoption. Suppose I was talking about this only, like drone. You know what is the cost of drone? Cost of drone is not less than 6 lakh. Okay. So whether our farmers, this country has more than 86% of small and marginal farmers. Whether all of them can able to uh, adopt such technologies is a question. Okay, so that is the reason there are barriers. Then need for long-term investment strategies. So we first of all our plans are within the short. We have never made a long-term investment strategies. It is very difficult. The existence itself is a problem. Okay, so we cannot expect these kind of a long term investment strategies. Then limited access to credit and financial services. See, though the credit is available to agriculture, how many will be getting this credit for production of crops? Okay, only crop loan, maybe those who have uh, land in their name, then only they can able to get this credit, but not for all the crops. Only selected crops you have a credit. Okay, so if you want to go, I want to go pomegranate, please give us a loan, means nobody will give. Okay, so there is no accessibility only. Okay, and how many have land holding in their name? There are a lot of loopholes within the existing system. They may not be able to get the credits and financial services whenever they want. Okay, so these are all the, that is the reason they are all the barriers I'm talking about. Then cost benefit analysis. So who had done this? Evaluating return on investment for farmers. Only after the introduction of CACP, cost on agricultural, CAC, what is that CACP? Oh, I'm forgetting that also. Okay, so after establishing that center CACP, then only they started evaluating, the cost bit, and they started, accounting for the what is the cost involved in production of cost of cultivation. We say cost of cultivation of particular crop. Then uh, we are ending up in such a situation that the getting cost itself is becoming a difficult. Okay, and there are no ready-made formulas available. Like if you grow this crop, you will be getting this much of uh, return. Okay, you may get what is the investment is required, but there is no guarantee that you will be getting similar benefits. Okay, but and how many of our small and marginal farmers can able to uh, make this? First of all, they should understand what is the cost. Even till today, I think no farmers are maintaining their records of what they are investing. Okay, so you should have such kind of this thing system. If you grow under these circumstances, okay, you will be getting this. At least some ranges should be there, but though the ranges are available, we can not able to um, achieve that because of the various problems. We cannot, the market itself is one of the biggest problem. Now we cannot predict this much we will be getting. Then assessing short term versus long term benefits. So this actually we need to understand. Even the farming community should understand. See, there are available technologies like I was talking about this, no, like zero budget natural farming, wherein without investing, only your labor you should give, you can able to produce. I have seen recently this program only, the Namo Drone Didi scheme only. I went to Andhra Pradesh. One of the farmer, he's shown his farm. He was the. I mean, he is practicing zero budget natural farming for last 4 years. Initially, he was not getting anything, I mean, we are getting very less. But this year, the crop was very bumper. So without adding anything, just followed no tillage, okay, and started using the traditional agriculture practices like using farm add manure, then making some organic farming related products, and only using that too. Even he chemicals he is not spraying also. This year no, he is getting a very bumper crops, of course. Okay, so see, we are not able to understand, just someone is growing and getting a better yield this time or better income this time. People simply go to such kind of a crops. They will not at all understand this long term benefits of the things. So there is a need to assess the short term versus long term benefits. Okay, then financial risk management strategies, uh, like there, though the insurances are available, how many are taking these insurances? So what they expect is that, suppose if they take a crop insurance this year, they expect their income. I mean, insurance to be claimed this year only. It is only a risk taking risk strategy, that they are not understanding, and many are not taking voluntarily undergoing or subscribes for crop insurance schemes. So we need to adopt such kind of a strategies to reduce our financial risk. Then the third barrier is the partnerships, like public-private partnerships. So there are collaboration opportunities between government and private sectors, but very hardly we will find the participation of private sectors in such collaborations. Uh, you can also find very successful the things also, but what I'm telling, the rate at which this is happening is very minimum. Then funding mechanisms and models. Okay, funding mechanisms and models, as I said, like for agricultural, they think we do not have such a mechanism and models. But I was talking about integrated farming system. No, these models are prepared for different agroecological, they think ACZ, agro climatic zones. Okay, so there are 15 agroclimatic zones. So for each climatic zones, they have come up with IFS technology models, IFS models. But how many are following it? Okay, so though the models are there, they're not being followed. Okay, means they can expect a minimum income from each thing, but so uh, that should happen with these kind of a partnership. It's like more farmer producer organizations or the associations or groups should have contacted with the KVKs, ICRs or state agriculture universities, that they start using it. So though they are developed by the agriculture universities, their implementation is very minimum. So the role of private sector in scaling up technologies, this is happening at a very minimum rate. As I was giving an example of the Namudron 3D scheme, no, this is actually under this scheme, the fertilizer companies themselves have given or distributed 500 drones to the farming community. This is the initiation of the Prime Minister. There is a region is called as Namo Didi through the scheme. So here in the private sector participation is we can see. So like that there are only the fingertips we can able to name a few. Okay. So these are all the barriers are there. Then there are technical limitations also, like accessibility and adoption. Okay. So availability of affordable and reliable technology, first of all, is rare. So I was telling you like IFS is available with the state agriculture universities and for all agroclimatic zones, but they are not, when either they are not affordable or not reliable also. So under specific conditions only they will be functioning. Okay. Then there are infrastructure challenges in rural areas. Suppose as soon as you grow, many people cannot able to keep their produce in the uh, home only. They have to sell their produce. So what happens in the peak season? If you are selling, the market rate will be very low. Okay, these are all the infrastructure challenges. Then adoption rates among smallholder farmers is very less. I was giving an example of a soil testing technology. Though the government has bombarded by both central and state governments, the adoption rate is less than 20%. Okay, so these are all the problem with the technology accessibility and adoption. One of the reason is this also. I mean, suppose any farmer wanted to go for soil testing, only through scheme they can able to test it. But if they want to go privately, so they should know where is the laboratory and all. Only the one laboratory may be available at the district level for micronutrient testing. Okay. For macronutrients, you may be getting some laboratories in taluka level, but micronutrients, no laboratories till at least to district level. So that is the problem. Such kind of a problems are there in the accepting this. That become one of the technical limitations. The other side is the training and capacity building. So there are educational programs for farmers and technicians, but how many have trained? How many are undergoing? Maybe you also see, like there are frequent changes in the technology, and you need to upgrade your skills or knowledge. But whether it is possible, okay. So there is a need for development of technical skills, extension services, and continuous learning should be there, but that is not happening. That is limited due to the uh, this training and capacity building non-availability. Then research and development gaps. First of all, we should identify the priority areas for research. Then we need to bridge the gap between research and the field application. So all this require investment in innovative technologies and that, but how much research and development funding we have is the biggest question. Okay, even when it comes to the question of agriculture, the investment rate is very, very less. Okay. Then there are some policy related issues, policy and regulatory related issues are there, like encouraging innovation through policies. So though the policies are there, okay, like incentive for research and development. Okay, so there are a lot of barriers in availing these uh, uh, availing these for incentives for the research and development. Okay, so like then policies to support startup incubators and accelerators. We say that we talk more about the incubation startups. The schemes available, this and that, but it has a lot of glitches also, like access to funding. That many startups and innovative projects are struggle to secure the adequate funding. Okay. So despite like in initiative like a startup India, the access to capital remains a significant barrier. Okay. And particularly for early stage ventures. Okay. Then there are regulatory complexities, like regulatory environment in India is very complex and cumbersome. Okay. Despite initiatives like startup, I mean, entrepreneurs can often face, a lot of challenges navigating through various regulations, which can slow down the innovation process. Then The other one is like talent acquisition and retention. So there is a dearth of skilled talent uh, in certain high tech specialized fields, but that is always a challenge, like other problem I said, infrastructure limitations, like inadequate infrastructures. uh, well, for just an example, like internet connectivity and power supply. Okay, so are we getting sufficient this thing? So these are can hinder the growth of technology startups. Then IPR protection is also there. No? Like although there have been improvements and enforcements in IPR in India, but still poses challenges like weak IPR protection discourage the innovation. Okay, and the investment in research and development. Okay, then sometimes policies are uncertain, frequent changes in the policies, and the lack of long term strategic vision, those are all the problems are there. Then bureaucratic hurdles, like this red tapeism will slow down the administrative process until unless you fulfill them, they keep delaying the project approvals and implementations. Okay. At the same time, there is a open market. There is intense competition from the established players. So difficult for the new to startup to uh, gain the foothold in the market. Then there are regulatory frameworks, like existing laws and that. They are all complexity and overlap. Like if whenever the multiple agencies are involved, they create a more problem than relaxing them. Okay, so there is a lot of confusion and increased compliance costs. Okay, then rapid technological advancement. See, if any technology for that matter, it is going to change very short time. Maybe within 5 years, any technology will not be staying more than 5 years. So if for your regulations itself are taking that much of time, then where is the question of making profit out of it? So that is the thing. Then globalization and jurisdictional differences. Okay, so that is another barrier that. Then regulatory are in silos. The regulatory bodies may operate in silos, leading to inconsistent regulations. Okay, then enforcement and compliance, ensuring compliance with the regulations is very difficult, and especially for the smaller businesses with limited resources. Then adaptability and flexibility, really, because of the struggle to adapt to the changing market conditions and emerging risk, they cannot able to perform only. Then the other important thing is the data privacy and security. Very the data privacy. These you need to address the issues related to this privacy and security. Okay, like the other one is harmonizing international standard. It is again a complex process, that has several challenges, especially like because of the regulatory differences between the countries. Each country will be having their own regulatory frameworks. Then the other one is the political and the economic interest, isn't it? So national interests often influence the adoption of the international standards. Okay, so countries may resist, with some countries, and they may restrict. Like then resource constraints, they are another important issue. So when you want to deal with the internationally, so you need more fund. Okay, so that become difficult. Then technological disparities, then coordination and collaboration also become difficult, because there are multiple international bodies, national governments, and industry stakeholders. This is really challenging due to the differing priorities and agenda. Then again, something related to the compliance and enforcement. Then adaptability and flexibility is another issue. Then cultural and social factors also influences. Okay, so this is how the policy and regulatory issues, we need to overcome to achieve the 100% of if you want to fulfill the SDGs, we need to make all these, we have to create an enabling environment. Then only this is possible. So, what is the future prospects and strategies? So, as I said, we explained you many technologies like advances in biotechnology. We have biofortification, GM crops, and there is another recent technology called CRISPR, that is the clustered regulatory interspaced short palindromic repeats. It is kind of a gene editing technology that will allow scientists to modify the DNA sequences in a living organism. Okay, so that through that technology they can able to cut the DNA at specific locations. Something it is a very. I'm not an expert to talk about this technology. So that is for the precise gene editing in plants is available with that. Then biotechnology application for pest and disease resistance we have been using. Still, there is a lot of gap, that has to be utilized to utilize to achieve these selected SDGs. Then the other one is digital agriculture and big data. There are a lot of IoT sensors and other technology, real-time field monitoring, big data analytics for predictive farming and uh, decision making. Then blockchain technology. So this is also available. Blockchain technology is again it is a the recent phenomenon, especially in the supply chain management. So wherein we can able to trace in our how the product is from the point of production till it goes to consumption. At each point we can able to monitor, and we cannot able to edit. Okay, such kind of a technology are available. So we need to adapt to all those technologies in agriculture. The other one is the robotics and automation in farming, like like autonomous tractors and machineries. Even in the case of drone, also there are three modes, like a manual mode, semi-manual, and automatic mode. If you are operating with the automation mode, the efficiency will be much more higher compared to the manual. But that's what our people are unable to upgrade that skill to that extent. But over the time this can be possible. So these are all the emerging trends in agriculture technology, I can say. So how the what the strategic framework can be made for achieving SDGs in the Aggretech? So I have listed a few, like we should have a stakeholder collaborations, like government, private, and the research institutions, and we should be able to have these kind of a workshops, seminars, wherein we can able to share knowledge and innovations. At the same time, we also need giant funding initiatives for sustainable agriculture technology projects, agri-tech projects. So thereby we can able to connect both SDGs and the agriculture technology. The other one is the policy formulation and implementation. As I said, there are a lot of issues with the policies and their implementation. As I said, one of the best example is that the canal area paddy production is banned, but whether it is 100% is implemented is a bigger question. Okay, so there is a need for development of supportive policies for agri-tech adoption. So then there should be a regulatory framework for biotechnology and digital agriculture also. So as we also given an example of GM crops, that is halted because of there is a problem with GM with this thing also. Once we go for that, that may affect that those changes can be passed on to the future generations also. That is the problem. Suppose if you inject some make the changes in the some crop or crops, or like BD cotton, if you do it in brinja, cotton though we are not eating, but brinjal we are eating, no? Once we start eating that what changes it can make in our body. God only knows. Okay, such kind of a research not happened to that extent. So, and there are regulatory frameworks also that is controlled. So that is the reason. Then implementing strategies for policy and impact evaluation. So every scheme, every stage, we should have a evaluations for more, better monitoring and implementations. So that is lacking. Okay, that we need to have, policy formation and implementations. Then scaling successful models. This is what, we I gave another example of IFS, integrated farming system. For every agroclimatic zones, we have prepared a models and kept it. But though they are successful, but the implementation is very poor. Okay, so that we need to, create, you can say like, broadcast such successful case studies, so that it will reach to the each and every farming community, and they should feel like adapting such kind of an environment you need to do. So those successful models we have to come up with first of all, then we need to share with others. Then frameworks for replicating successful agriculture technology innovations. So maybe, we have come up with this thing, but that should be replicated in different environment. So we should have a framework to replicating such kind of a, technological innovations. Then resources and training programs for capacity building uh, to scaling up of the agriculture technology is needed. So that we can have a this so that our framework will be say, fit to this and achieving integrating both SDGs and the agriculture technologies. Okay. Then there are each stakeholders having their own roles and contributions, like the government and policymakers. They should have a create an enabling environment and infrastructure availability. Even the funding and incentives will be pumped to the agriculture technology and research development. Then, as we discussed, whatever the glitches are there, the regulation and standardization for agri-tech practices, they need to be re-looked into. Okay. So what the non-governmental organizations and academia can do, so they can conduct more and more research and development on par with the advanced technology elsewhere. So that, we can need to provide education and training to farmers on new technologies, promote sustainable and environmentally friendly agriculture technology practices. So these non-governmental organization, academia can do this. One of the important step taken by the government of India, the soil health program is introduced in schools. This is really wonderful decision by the whoever so had done. So the schools have started, following this technology adoption, so that, students can study and they can do the research within that area, and they can test the soils of their own farmers, their own relatives, their own farm, something like that, so that they can understand the scenario may change in the future. Okay. Then the private sector and investors, so their participation is also very much necessary, so that, we can expect more investment, especially in the case of startups and innovations. Then driving commercialization of new agri-tech solutions can be possible. So we need to collaborate with the research institutions for product development. Okay. So then only that becomes easier. So ultimately, what I want to say is that, I was talking about the agriculture technologies which really contributing to the SDGs. Like I was talking some of the practices in precision farming, precision agriculture. So then they are, can reduce, how we can reduce the water usage, and how the these, technologies, helps in, smart irrigation systems, and how they can enhance food security by reducing the cost and post harvest losses, something like that. Okay. So the importance for the continued innovation, I was stressing upon keeping a pace with the growing global food demand. You see, we will be the number one in terms of population by 2040. So the land is shrinking. On the other side, not only land, all the resources are shrinking, but we need to, at the same time, we need to produce more and more. Okay, so mitigating the that is possible with the adoption of the technologies. Okay, so mitigating the impacts of climate change on agriculture, then enhancing the efficiency and sustainability of farming practices. Through that, we can able to do all those things. Okay, so then addressing the challenges, whatever the challenges we discussed, we need to address for the future growth. Okay, like overcoming the financial and logistical barriers to technology adoption, then ensuring equitable access to agriculture innovations, then navigating the regulatory frameworks and market acceptance. I think I am stopping at the right time. Okay, so these are all the call to action, like encouraging stakeholder participation. We should have more and more dialogue with the different stakeholders. Then how we can promote sustainable agriculture is advocating for the use of environmentally friendly technologies. Then how we can foster the collaborative ecosystem is that we need to build networks and alliance with the agritech community, and we need to at the same time we need to facilitating the knowledge sharing through the programs like this. Okay, thank you one and all. If at all any questions are there, I
So,
can take it.
so thank you so much for a very detailed and very highly insightful session throughout this thing. So there are some questions in the chat box. I'll just read it out for you. I think it must have some of the questions must have been covered through your presentation, but still I'll just repeat it. Uh,
Yeah.
Professor Amit Kulkarni says that my doubt is regarding large scale of landscape is into traditional farming, and convincing farmers towards modern techniques is becoming very difficult for me. Could you please throw some light on that? This is what he says.
Yeah, so that is what I was giving an example of soil testing, the smallest technology. Though can treat it as like our blood report, but farmers are not able to adopt this technology. But only the way out is that we need to go with the collectivization system. Like we need to go through the institutionalization system, like approaching farmer producer organizations or farmer associations, take more no try to have more and more discussions, or give knowledge sharing things, like or we can have a demo conduct, demonstrations we can conduct, something like that. We need to educate and make them to adapt. That is the only thing I can say. Any other questions? Where are they? I'm just seeing it. Okay. Vinay Kulkarni. I'm unable to hear you.
Yes, so there are some more questions. It is there in the chat box.
Okay.
Should I read it for
What
you?
role can consumers play in supporting agri-tech driven solution for food security? Consumers. Okay. I can give one example. See, willingness to pay should come forward. They should able to pay for the thing. But see, I will give an example of millets. Everybody knows, millet contribute for this and the health and other things. Okay, but how many are really practicing it? Isn't it? By the time we would have got a lot of demand for millets, is it happening? Okay. See, consumers, if at all, the present form is not, acceptable, they should also come forward that, what can be done for accepting the technology. Okay. Supporting agri-tech driven solutions, they should support, such kind of a programs like millet production or organic farming. See, organic farming, we say, the difference between the cost of production of organic farming and the normal conventional farming is huge. But how many are purchasing the organic products? You know, so I think there the consumer should think of and intervene. Then how can agri-tech innovations be made more affordable for marginalized farmers? Like this is only say, I was giving an example of Namo the Drone Didi scheme, wherein the self-help women self-help groups are identified and the technology is given at a very subsidized rate. For initial first page they have given it free of cost, but the second page they announced 80% subsidy. So something like that are happening. But one thing is, drone is acceptable. I think majority, I interviewed. And today only I have submitted my interim report, wherein it is found that majority are accepting the drone technology as it is saving water, labor cost, and the thing. So only thing is one is giving knowledge about knowledge about the technology, to the benefits of the technology to the farmers. Then it should be made available, like accessibility we need to create. So then that is how we can do it. Then how can agri-tech innovations empower communities to take ownership of water sustainability? uh, Again, the education, you need to educate. Say how much water we are using in from per day, how much water we use. Start reducing from your side only, at each stage. Like suppose if you want to drink a water, half a glass of water, don't take full glass of water, take half only. Okay, so practice. I think the practice make man perfect. So that is how we can contribute. I think. Like, at each stage, if you, and for taking a bath, how much water we are using? Maybe 20 liters, 40 liters. If it is heavily available, you may use 50 liters also. Is it necessary? I think that calculation we have to do at our level. Okay, micro level strategies should come from our side only. Okay, then how can government, business, and farmers collaborate to leverage agri-tech for SDG 13? So I explained you like mm, that is happening. The both PPP models are becoming successful also. Uh, so only thing this collaboration, you should think of. Then how can we facilitate PPP structure through government interventions? Facilitating PPP structure. Hmm? Uh,
I
mm,
think with respect to that is public-private partnership
yeah, that's
structure.
what actually.
Yes.
But how we can facilitate is that we can facilitate a platforms like this, to collaborate, wherein the participation should be there. But how to attract the private people is a challenge. I'm unable to answer this. Okay.
So no problem. There's a next question from Professor Sushil Kumar Pare. He says like, are there any successful business models or startups in this area? Can you name few open databases for this area as well? Second question.
Where is that?
So just under that, Sushil Kumar Pare.
Kumar Pare. Are there any successful business models or startups in this area? Oh, what is that? There are cooperative models, very successful cooperative models like Amul. Okay, so that is the best example. Even there is a such model in Maharashtra for grapes, Mahagrape. You can take. So like that, very countable things we can identify.
Are there any few open databases for this area?
I
Or
think APEDA, you will be getting, like list of exporters, importers, and some FPOs. They have listed APEDA, then DGFT you will be getting. Then even if you go through the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, you will be getting a lot of information about this and manage for especially for the startup and incubation related thing. Manage, you people might be knowing that, manage Hyderabad.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
so they will be having a lot of such models.
Is there any good magazine or journal working in the area of responsible water consumption? Any specific?
Imagine this down to earth. Recently, you might have come across, down to earth. So that is one of the best magazine I can refer.
Okay. One more question from Professor Dinesh Jain. Please suggest few agri-tech opportunities worth immediate launch for small-scale enterprises or entrepreneurs with little capital.
Agri-tech opportunities worth immediate launch for small scale enterprises. Which no, I need some time to answer to this. Let's see.
Okay, okay. Uh, and so I think that there's one more question, last question from Mr. Vinayak. Sir, any developments of on-farm water recycling systems?
Mm, that is not there in Indian condition, but definitely, there are. Okay, if at all you are doing multiple entrepreneurship, like on farm, if you have, you are using water for different purposes, not in Indian case. If you want any such example, you can contact me. I can give you some addresses.
Sure, sir. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yes, participants, if at all you would want to ask any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the
Hello,
questions.
am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Amol. Yes.
Yeah, it was content was good, and as well as the activities you have conducted are also very good. I just want to ask a very simple question because I am a marketing person. I
yeah.
work into sales and marketing, as well as I am looking after training placement activities for MBA. Actually, I want to know what is the basic difference between FMCG or consumer durable marketing and agriculture marketing. That is a basic simple question. One line or two line if you want to.
This is perishable, sir. We are dealing with perishables. So that is the major difference between FMCG and agriculture commodities. See, suppose if you want to sell your leafy vegetables, it is only 8 to 12 hours. Shelf life is very
Yeah,
less.
sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, your whole leafy vegetables gone waste.
Same marketing concept you can apply in agriculture marketing. Whatever
That depends
marketing
upon the
strategies
commodity
and
you are
all.
dealing, sir. That's what
Hmm.
I'm telling. I gave some
Hmm.
perishable commodity example. If you the same concept, if you can use it for some commodities like coconut or there are milling copra and ball copra. So there they can you can keep it for 2 years. Okay, so
Yeah,
in
yeah.
other such
So
circumstances you can use.
food processing industry have improved the shelf life, and because of that, lot of
Yeah,
opportunities are there.
technological development. Okay,
Yeah,
so but FMCG marketing strategies cannot be adopted here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? All right. Yeah. So thank you so much for your very wonderful and insightful session. And I think it has covered more than the actual requirement. And going through the all the SDGs and the sections that you covered, I'm sure this session will open up a lot of minds from the participants, and even they would want to collaborate and think in a new dimension through whatever sessions have been delivered by you in last 1.5 hours. Sir. So thank you so much for once again accepting our
I
invite
was
and
literally
yeah.
busy, as you know. Actually, I thought of swapping this class with somebody for some other time, since because of unavailability of swapping option.
Yeah.
I thought of giving this with a limited knowledge. It is like extempo I have just delivered. Sorry for
No,
any
no, no, sir. Sir,
issues
it's
with me.
it's our
Okay.
privilege. It's a privilege to have you, sir. It's a privilege, and thank you once again, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Thank you, sir.
Namaste to all.
Namaste. Sir. Um, Participants, now we head towards our next session uh, by Dr.